Our boy just ripped open the sky, with a tiny knife, by the way, and the Academy instantly realized he was not normal. But to understand this disaster, we rewind. Before Gioma existed, Kim lived by the blade. Not demon-slaying blades yet, sadly. Kitchen blades. Our guy was a sushi worker, grinding through endless orders. Then the kitchen phone started screaming like emergency alarms. Kim tries staying professional, but the notifications keep coming. The culprit is a game called Blessing of Miracle M. One coworker immediately sneaks off like he found treasure. Kim already has enough problems without gotcha nonsense. Because Trouble walks into the kitchen wearing a suit, and behind him comes this discount mob boss parade. The blonde gangster acts like the whole restaurant is his. Then he drops money, because villains love obvious bribery. He laughs like buying people is a personality trait. But Kim has spent decades mastering clean, precise cuts. So when violence comes close, his hands already know. The thugs realize the quiet kitchen guy is dangerous. Kim does not posture. He just tells them to leave. The fish on the counter suddenly feels like a warning. Of course, one clown still runs his mouth. Kim answers with one knife flash, pure chef aura. The whole goon squad flinches like the bill arrived. The loud one backs up, suddenly allergic to smoke. After that, Kim returns to work like nothing happened. His coworkers complain, but this life is already cooked. Kim smokes through the stress, tired down to the bones. Then that cursed game notification shows up again. He tries ignoring it, but fate is already buffering. That night, Kim steps outside under the moon. His phone vibrates again, because peace was not installed. Blessing of Miracle M calls him one more time. Kim taps it by accident. Rookie mistake, Cosmic Edition. The moment it opens, he knows something is wrong. His phone gets left behind like a crime scene. Someone nearly notices, but the pull has already started. Kim vanishes from ordinary life before anyone understands. The game world loads in with its shiny heroine lineup. At first, it looks like a bright academy fantasy. Then the story grabs some random background nobody. That nobody is Gioma Kang, labeled Background Extra A. And Kim wakes up wearing that extra's entire life. He remembers the game's heroines, fights, and doomed routes. He also remembers Gioma was never supposed to matter, but now our boy is stuck inside him. So he plays calm and rides the subway like normal. Every little routine tells him this world is real. He reaches Gioma's building, still pretending not to panic. The door opens, and his new life officially begins. This apartment is not home, but it is his shelter. Then he finds the letter that changes everything. Gioma Kang got accepted into Joaquin Academy. Kim nearly folds, because that school is plot central. He crawls into bed hoping this is a nightmare. But memories of Gioma's past start bleeding through. The original Gioma unlocked a blessing before the exam, meaning this background extra was secretly built different. In this world, blessings are humanity's whole power system. Some people inherit fire, ice, barriers, and absurd talents, and society ranks everyone by how fancy their blessing is. Joaquin Academy trains the blessed to protect humanity, because the Demon King route is not just game lore. Kim studies everything, trying to survive the script. He hopes Gioma's blessing is at least overpowered. Then his status window finally pops open. The title sounds insane, Blessing of the Blade God. Then the restriction hits him like a tax audit. The Blade God only accepts small blades. Seriously. No heroic longswords, no legendary greatswords, no cool posters. His perfect weapon compatibility is basically a sashimi knife. Kim reacts like the universe personally insulted him. He slumps, realizing his divine build is kitchen DLC. But then spectral weapons descend, proving this blessing is real. And Kim remembers one thing. He actually knows knives. Decades in kitchens may become his cheat code. So Gioma heads to Joaquin trying to look harmless. Other entrants already judge him like fresh prey. His cheap practice swords do not help the branding. At inspection, he presents bargain bin weapons with confidence. The inspector stares like Gioma brought a spoon. Then Bro slams the counter, absolutely losing it. He screams because a commoner dared arrive underprepared. Gioma calmly says he is a special entrant. That only makes the instructor's prejudice activate harder. In his head, ordinary students are walking tuition problems. Gioma fires back with one clean masterclass line. A true master does not blame the tool. Suddenly, his cheap weapons look less like a joke. The bald examiner starts crying like he found his son. Somehow, Gioma passes the most emotional weapon check ever. He thanks the examiner and tries escaping the spotlight. Too late, the rich kids are already whispering. Then the examiner bellows after him like a hype announcer. Gioma realizes quiet academy life is already dead. Still, Joaquin itself is ridiculous in scale. Our boy collapses on a bench, spiritually bankrupt. Even the announcements refuse to let him breathe. He stares upward, wondering how extras survive here. Step 1 is lunch, because heroes need calories. But this elite campus practically smells like money. Every tower screams, "Commoners, please suffer politely." Gioma tries admiring it, but stress wins. Then the loudspeakers announce class placement exams. Of course, the academy starts with a combat evaluation. New students are summoned to the training grounds immediately. Gioma needs a real compatible weapon fast. He remembers his first teacher's warning about blades, so he chooses the tool his soul actually understands. A small white knife slides free from its sheath. The second he grips it, blue lightning awakens. The so-called useless blessing roars like a divine engine. Gioma panics, because this is way beyond tutorial level. The blessing confirms itself, bright and terrifying. Then something fractures inside his vision. Pain, light, and system errors crash together. A sword memory snaps into place from somewhere impossible. Steel clashes, and Gioma feels another battlefield overlapping. For 1 second, everything goes silent. Then the world whooshes sideways like reality lagged. A blue fighter smashes through the broken space. Gioma's eye widens as the exam stops feeling safe. Suddenly, he is back in the academy courtyard. His head pounds, like the game kicked him out. He grits his teeth, trying not to scream. His hand trembles, and that scares him most. But the fallen sword keeps calling to him. He grabs the hilt, forcing his fear down. Blue electricity surges through him, and the pain is brutal. Meanwhile, crowds gather for the placement exam spectacle. Noble students smirk, expecting commoners to get embarrassed. The upper class watches from fancy halls and balconies. Important families treat this exam like social entertainment. Then, an unexpected presence interrupts their comfortable gossip. Siegfried von Nibelung arrives, and the room stiffens. This elder does not miss strange talent when it appears. Even the nobles start acting less smug around him. Another veteran senses something unusual in today's candidates. Then Medea Poison enters, all elegance and dangerous smiles. The old guard discusses the exam with quiet suspicion. Medea watches like she already knows chaos is coming. She and the elder trade looks full of hidden agendas. Medea laughs, because powerful people love being cryptic. But behind the teasing, she is measuring every student. Even her smallest reaction says the academy is watching. Down below, the arena fills with future heroes and victims. Above them, aristocrats settle in for the show. The teal-haired observer chuckles, already entertained by the tension. And one white-haired noble glares, waiting for the anomaly. Gioma enters Joaquin Academy and immediately becomes public enemy number 1. His black hair alone makes him look like a walking error message. The nobles smell commoner energy and start yapping instantly. Gioma takes the insult quietly, but his patience is already cracking. Then the courtyard noise shifts, and everyone suddenly forgets bullying him. Gioma looks over, because the main character aura just arrived. A wave of turquoise hair cuts through the crowd like royalty DLC. And Gioma realizes this is no random pretty noble. The whole place practically sparkles when her energy passes by. That is Abel von Nibelung, elite bloodline menace in human form. She smirks like someone born with a legendary sword coupon. Meanwhile, the exam rules sound safe, but only technically. In subspace, students can get demolished without dying for real. The academy elders explain it like a normal school activity. Their idea of placement testing is basically ranked Fortnite with swords. Some officials argue, because this plan is wildly unhinged. But the strategist insists chaos reveals true talent faster. Outside, another blue-haired elite strolls in like a celebrity cameo. Every dude nearby starts angling for attention like NPCs with quests. Gioma clocks another dangerous heroine from the original game. She already has admirers hanging off her like unpaid subscriptions. And our boy stays alone, which is honestly his preferred strategy. Still, he watches them leave, knowing famous characters mean trouble. So he focuses on studying because surviving beats socializing. His body still hurts, and his weapon future looks embarrassingly tiny. But when the exam starts, he thinks this might be easy. Then the crystal activates, and Gioma's confidence gets audited. The rules confirm it. Free-for-all scoring, no gentle tutorial mode. The officials watch closely, expecting noble talents to flex. The ranked students grin, already tasting easy points. Gioma realizes the system rewards anyone ruthless enough to farm bodies. So he stops pretending and lets the black aura breathe. The arena instantly turns into a nobles getting cooked compilation. Up above, the observers realize this commoner is not normal. Abel points at the readings, because Gioma just broke the curve. His records hint at something tied to impossible bloodline secrets. Abel narrows his eyes, realizing the Nibelung name may be involved. The examiner gets tense, because this is bigger than placement. Abel leaves with questions that nobody wants answered out loud. Then the academy system glitches like a horror game loading screen. The spectators feel it too, and the safe exam stops feeling safe. Even the confident students look up like taxes just arrived. The elder snaps, because an outside force has entered the subspace. The arena crowd scatters into confused, panicked clusters. Something beyond the academy has noticed this exam. The elders sense danger overhead, and the mood goes dead serious. A massive blue torrent drops in like divine artillery. The officials move fast, but even they look shaken. The blast smashes into the arena and turns order into smoke. Students rain down everywhere, the exam fully losing its leash. The flash floods the subspace, wiping away every fake sense of control. A silver-haired fighter locks in, knowing this is now survival. Another beam slams down, splitting the battlefield like judgment. The green-haired official orders aid before this becomes a massacre. Inside the chaos, swords come out and alliances vanish instantly. A blonde student gets folded by a body blow. Then he gets introduced to the floor at terminal velocity. His attacker pins him there, farming points like a sweaty gamer. Shun Mao joins the bullying Olympics with Golden Gauntlet violence. Gioma watches, and the whole thing starts feeling too real. Nobody attacks him yet, but being ignored here is not safety. Shun drops the blonde like trash and walks off board. Then he studies the blood on his gauntlet, completely unimpressed. Across the arena, other students start breaking each other apart. One brute stomps a fallen kid like he forgot cameras exist. Someone calls him out, but morality is losing badly today. A red-haired girl braces herself as predators close in. Gioma senses trouble again, because the route is going off script. Elsewhere, the subspace shows a wasteland full of even nastier players. One guy notices something, and his confidence starts leaking. Then a chainsaw psycho appears, because apparently swords were too classy. His companion smiles like this is completely normal behavior. Chainsaw Bro licks the blade, failing every vibe check imaginable. Back in the arena, a crater becomes the next clown gathering. Gioma finally snaps and charges toward the students causing trouble. The bullies notice his nameplate and smell special admission weakness. Yeoma Kang is exposed as lowborn, and the mockery gets louder. Shun and his buddy treat him like free bonus points. One thug lunges first, confident he is about to farm. The result is immediate blood on stone. Shun keeps kicking opponents down, while Gioma studies the rhythm. Then, a sharp ringing cuts through Gioma's head. A glowing knife appears, and everything inside him goes cold. The Blade God's blessing answers like a bloody contract. Gioma remembers death, rebirth, and why this power terrifies him. The bullies notice something changed, and now they hesitate. Inside his bag, his real weapon finally wakes up. The two attackers stare down, suddenly regretting their career choices. Gioma draws the blade while their mocking faces fade into noise. The heavy thug charges anyway, because survival instincts took vacation. He swings with everything, expecting Gioma to crumble. Gioma holds firm as smoke and debris explode around him. Then he triggers Blessing of Painlessness and stops fearing the hit. Blue light floods the blade, turning kitchen logic into divine violence. The thug screams forward, still believing size equals victory. Gioma realizes the attack is heavier than expected. His mind flashes back to the kitchen, where knives meant work. Back then, loud bosses screamed over fish, not battlefield survival. That memory clicks into place, and his eye lights up. Gioma moves first, slipping into the thug's blind spot. Then our boy raises a glowing blade way beyond its pay grade. The armored bully collapses, shocked that the commoner hit back. Gyoma drives the strike down and the ground erupts. His old chef instincts remember sashimi knives with disturbing clarity. One bad throw in the kitchen taught him precision matters. Even cutting fish required calm hands under pressure. He had spent years around blades before this world ever judged him, so slicing cleanly is not new to Kim at all. The opponent talks big, but Gyoma has heard louder cooks. Raw strength crashes down, trying to bury technique. A red-armored strike launches the thug through the battlefield. The bully gasps, finally learning fear in real time. Nearby fighters freeze, realizing Gyoma is not bluffing. Even the red-haired girl is stunned by the sudden reversal. Gyoma stands in the flames, blade low, aura terrifyingly calm. Then the thug loses his wrist, and the arena goes silent. His face says everything. This was supposed to be easy. Gyoma steps forward, not angry now, just dangerously focused. Elsewhere, another captive gets smashed through the subspace brutality. He crawls for help, proving this exam is psychologically vicious. A blue-haired student sees the horror and finally understands the stakes. The wounded captive screams as the pain overwhelms his mind. Even fake death leaves real fear behind. A silver-haired fighter blasts an enemy away with blue force. Blood-red energy keeps slicing through the battlefield around them. The martial artist realizes strong students are dropping too. Another student takes a slash across the face as someone screams. Gyoma clashes again, and the impact shakes the subspace. Shun's ally sees him fall and loses all smug expression. Gyoma stands over Shun, proving the special entrant is a problem. A shield user trembles nearby, praying nobody notices him next. But the gauntlet fighters are still throwing hands like raid bosses. One wrenching counter twists armor backward in sparks and fire. Blessings flare across the field, each one trying to out-hack physics. A mustached fighter loads his massive fist for one last play. A blue gauntlet rockets in, turning the duel into a missile exchange. Gyoma counts quietly, waiting for the exact second to move. A silver-haired fighter dashes beside a surging energy sphere. The suited fighter gathers everything for a final attack. His blade pierces the armored giant amid bodies and blood. The injured man coughs blood, barely clinging to consciousness. The countdown continues, cold and merciless. Gyoma's blue eye glows as his own timer reaches 0. He finishes the count, and the fight crosses the point of no return. A scream rips through the arena as someone finally collapses. Then Gyoma wakes in a hospital bed, alive but wrecked. The pain catches up, because painless never meant free. An official appears at the door, already reporting the anomaly. Gyoma sits there realizing stealth mode is completely dead, and the Academy's strongest eyes now turn directly toward him. Siegfried looks at Gyoma like he just found malware in a sword. Medea meanwhile acts sweet, which somehow feels even more suspicious, because the old monster knows that exam was not normal. Gyoma survived, but now every important adult is circling his bed. And yeah, this mess started a little earlier. Back in the exam, our boy got blasted into medical leave. Siegfried was ready to test him again, cane sword and all. Gyoma wakes up realizing quiet academy life is already deleted. He stares back anyway, because folding now would be fatal. Medea tells the old man to stop aura farming in sickbay. Then she checks Gyoma personally, way too close for comfort. Medea plays bubbly, but her eyes are doing full security scan. She clings to him while the professor basically loses admin privileges. Gyoma realizes this woman is not just flirting, she is investigating. Medea quietly warns him that his result changed everything. The faculty review his rescue, and the footage makes 0 sense. Medea celebrates the chaos like it is premium entertainment. She is weirdly fascinated by the random commoner who broke the exam. Siegfried steps in, because somebody has to be the adult. Medea smiles like she already has 10 theories and 9 crimes. She whispers that Gyoma is becoming impossible to ignore. Then the visitors congratulate him like he won a scholarship lottery. Gyoma's brain just blue screens, because attention is his worst nightmare. Meanwhile, Joaquin Academy shines like a palace built on ranking anxiety. In the director's office, Medea is already drowning in paperwork. A special entrant causing unprecedented damage is not exactly relaxing. Back in bed, Gyoma glares like he wants a refund on destiny. The adults panic when they learn where he has been placed. Medea explains that Wolf class is not some soft tutorial zone. She walks in like she is assigning him to professional suffering. Gioma immediately suspects there is a catch, because of course there is. Elsewhere, Medea brings Gioma's case straight to Siegfried. Siegfried stays calm, but his face says national emergency. He has seen blessings before, and Gioma's does not fit. Medea asks whether the boy is a genius or a problem. Siegfried answers like a man who already chose problem. He remembers the pressure coming from that tiny blade. In the exam, Gioma cut through the battlefield like a nightmare. The command inside him was not victory, it was cut. Even Siegfried felt real danger from that moment. And scaring a veteran like him is a legendary red flag. Afterward, they found Gioma unconscious like the system had unplugged him. Siegfried sits with that memory, and it bothers him deeply. His tea hits the saucer while the room goes dead quiet. Because Gioma did not fight like a student at all. He fought like something ancient had borrowed a teenage body. Medea pushes him for an answer, because ignoring this is impossible. Siegfried asks what she intends to do with the boy. Medea acts playful, but she wants Gioma inside her class. And yeah, she is way too excited about this walking disaster. Siegfried does not like gambling with unknown powers. His cup cracks because even the dishes felt that warning. Later, Gioma waits alone outside Wolf class. The class sign might as well say welcome to hard mode. Our boy already knows nobles will smell commoner on him instantly. Inside, the teachers are arguing before he even enters. The room is pure chaos. Premium academy professionalism right there. Medea tries smiling through it like her soul is buffering. Gioma watches and realizes his peaceful plan is cooked. He finally opens the door and steps into his new battlefield. A sudden bang nearly sends his soul back to the login screen. Every student turns toward the special admission nobody wanted. The silence gets awkward enough to count as emotional damage. Then someone points out his name, Gioma Kang. The rich kids laugh, because apparently manners cost extra here. So Gioma sits alone while the class pretends he is furniture. He climbs through the lecture hall, choosing survival over pride. But our guy still smirks, because being underestimated is useful. Then a red-haired girl approaches him, like social interaction is a boss fight. This is Chloe, and she is just as isolated as him. She nervously asks if she can sit nearby. Gioma is surprised anyone wants to talk without insulting him first. He answers gently, because he is not trying to collect enemies. Chloe panics anyway, like kindness just crit her anxiety. Gioma introduces himself properly, keeping the mood light. Chloe bows back, painfully polite and painfully nervous, and Gioma instantly realizes this conversation has hidden lore. Something about Chloe does not match a normal academy nobody, so he gently asks more, trying not to scare her off. But another student orders everyone seated, ending the moment. Chloe retreats, still uneasy but clearly curious about him. Then class starts with a book slam worthy of a jump scare. Their instructor, Wonbin Lee, introduces himself with drill sergeant energy. He announces light training, which obviously means suffering with branding. Gioma raises a hand, hoping there is a sane option. The class reacts when Wonbin reveals this warm-up is basically punishment. Gioma approaches politely, trying to negotiate with a gym final boss. The top scorer watches nearby, smiling like she enjoys pain. Wonbin gets fired up, and Gioma realizes diplomacy failed. Soon our boy is running, and his body betrays him immediately. Everyone else cruises ahead while he fights for oxygen. Turns out divine knife hacks do not include cardio. Chloe notices him struggling and quietly checks on him. Gioma lies through his teeth and says he is fine. Chloe slows down to run beside him, which actually matters. Then she casually reveals she is already on her 9th lap. She cheers him on like this is normal human performance, and immediately zooms away, leaving him emotionally and physically robbed. Gioma keeps staggering, accepting that his stats are trash. By sunset, the dorms look peaceful, but his stomach declares war. His room is littered with empty bottles and bad decisions. He grabs the last drink like a man facing famine. On the bed, hunger finally defeats the Blade God candidate. Elite Academy life is expensive, and Gioma is brutally broke. So he heads to the cafeteria hoping food can save him. He complains loudly, because starvation has removed his filter. He rushes the counter ready to order like a normal student. But someone nearby starts watching him with serious side-eye. Then Gioma discovers the meal ticket system, and hope dies. He stares at the menu like it personally betrayed him. One fried pork cutlet costs enough to commit financial violence. Our boy realizes being poor here is a combat debuff. He downs a tiny bottle, desperate for anything to quiet his stomach, and somehow launches it into another guy's head like bonus damage. Back in his room, hunger and humiliation tag team him. Then he remembers his father's pocket money, and the joke fades. That small kindness hurts more now that he is alone here. Exhausted, Gioma collapses before he can solve anything. He curls up wishing the hunger would just disappear. While he sleeps, the system activates like a shady midnight update. It quietly starts changing him while he cannot consent. For once, he sleeps peacefully, unaware of the upgrade. Morning comes, and Gioma finds his body visibly stronger. The transformation shocks him, because this is not normal training. Then he tests the kitchen knives sitting on the table. The old fear is gone, replaced by terrifying comfort. That should be a win, but it feels like losing himself. Before he can spiral, someone knocks at the door. Gioma opens carefully, because academy surprises are never free. It is Chloe, apologizing like she committed a felony by caring. Gioma reassures her, trying to act completely normal, but his stomach exposes him, shameless little gremlin that it is. Chloe bows again, embarrassed but clearly worried about him. A passing student breaks the tension, and Chloe follows Gioma inside. Gioma heads down the hall, already forming a survival plan. Chloe is stunned when he suggests cooking instead of starving. He glances over, realizing this might reveal too much. But chef instincts win, and he raids the fridge. The kitchen becomes his arena, and suddenly our guy has aura. He eyes the knife block, nervous about what his blessing might do. Chloe watches him closely, sensing there is more to Gioma. Then she offers a glowing sword, like that helps a knife specialist. Gioma rejects it fast, because oversized weapons are basically dead weight. Instead, he uses the kitchen knife, and the blade obeys perfectly. Chloe sees the difference immediately, and her curiosity sharpens. With one clean cut, Gioma turns ingredients into victim number 1. The meal comes together, proving his blessing can create, not just destroy. Chloe tastes it, and something in her lonely world softens. She beams with pure joy, and Gioma accidentally gains a devoted ally. While she washes dishes, he realizes this quiet moment may change everything. Night falls, and Gioma's quiet life immediately gets weird again. Chloe is still flustered after his cooking, and our boy laughs it off. Then something lands nearby, and the mood changes instantly. Gioma opens Chloe's notebook, thinking it is just school stuff. One glance in, and his survival instincts start screaming. Because Chloe has not been taking notes, she has been confessing. Page after page is just Gioma love declarations on repeat. Our boy realizes he accidentally unlocked the yandere route. But Chloe's obsession did not come from nowhere. In this world, nobles smile while rotten power runs everything. And behind that power lurks the auditory assassin family. Chloe grew up watching children turned into weapons. Then she became one of them, tied down before she understood why. The first real horror in her life was not monsters. It was adults, telling her killing was her family duty. An elder placed a sword in her hands like a curse. And when blood finally touched her fingers, something inside her cracked. Chloe's childhood ended with a blade and an old man's silence. So she learned to accept pain like it was normal. But normal never stopped feeling impossible to her. That buried darkness still waits under her skin. Joaquin Academy was supposed to be her escape. A place where she could disappear among regular students. So Chloe hides her face and chooses being unnoticed. Even teachers pass her by while she swallows everything down. Everyone else finds groups, friends, and easy laughter. Chloe accepts loneliness because loneliness still beats being owned. Then danger finds her in the academy anyway. Gioma steps in because, apparently, quiet survival is illegal. Chloe freezes when the assassin world grabs her again. For once, she cannot run from her bloodline. So Gioma cuts through the threat with tiny blade demon energy. And of course, some noble idiot charges in like backup DLC. Later, Chloe retreats to the one comfort she still owns, an old fairy tale book from before her life went dark. Inside it, she finds a story that suddenly feels familiar. A king falls, flames rise, and fate repeats itself. A black-haired swordsman stands inside disaster with a glowing blade. And Chloe realizes Gioma has become her fairy tale hero. That feeling hits so hard it scares even her. The word love basically detonates inside her brain. Gioma sees the signs and gives the world's fakest calm smile. He tries leaving politely before the room gains boss music. Our boy even waves like this is a normal sleepover. But Chloe has one more surprise hidden behind her back. Then Gioma spots his study guide sitting in plain view. He laughs like a man realizing stealth missions are over. Now he wonders exactly when Chloe started watching him. Chloe confronts him, and the air turns suspiciously heavy. A sharp clack behind Gioma says this conversation has entered danger mode. Then another girl swings a sword down like payroll depends on it. Gioma barely avoids becoming Academy Sushi. His escape plan becomes checking how lethal the rooftop drop is. Bad news, the school is tall enough to humble anybody. Meanwhile, Chloe follows a spectral clue toward a marked door. The courtyard below makes it clear nobody is leaving easily. Then Chloe draws Crimson Power, and the room goes full horror route. Her mood flips so fast it needs a loading screen. Gioma gets blasted by the chaos and loses another year of peace. Now he faces Chloe, not as a classmate, but as a threat. She advances with a blade glowing like a murder notification. Gioma's brain starts speedrunning every possible escape route. Then he spots the kitchen knife, his cursed comfort weapon. Chloe unsheaths first, because assassins do not believe in patience. Gioma launches from his chair before the room becomes a crime scene. A tiny glint gives him the only chance he needs. Chloe swings with enough force to delete his student discount. Gioma answers with a small blade and perfect timing. The blade god blessing ignites, turning trash metal into divine menace. But the power throws his body around like it forgot physics. He blocks anyway, because dying here would be embarrassing. Then he finally recognizes the attacker is Chloe herself. Under those bangs, something else is looking back at him. After the clash, Chloe wakes in bed with no peace. Her head aches, and the memories come back in broken pieces. She scans the room, afraid of what she might have done. Then panic hits when her katana is missing. She finds it by the desk, quietly waiting like evidence. Chloe exhales, but confusion still grips her chest. She remembers the shadow behind her, and the red state returns in flashes. That sword is not just a weapon anymore. It is proof her family's monster may still live inside her. So Chloe faceplants into shame like a pro. Because the unconscious confession part might be worse than murder. Then she notices a box cutter lying on the floor. Small, ordinary, and somehow tied to Gioma surviving her. The scratch on her cheek confirms he stopped her carefully. Even while fighting, he avoided truly hurting her. That tenderness hits Chloe harder than any blade. So naturally, she preserves the memory in her diary. Meanwhile, Gioma staggers outside under the moon, coughing blood. His painlessness blessing expires, and the bill finally arrives. All the damage he ignored crashes into him at once. Our boy collapses on a bench like a defeated NPC. He even loses dinner, which is just financially cruel. Under the moon, he realizes these wins are not free. His mind replays every slash that should have ended him. Assassins strike from shadows, and Chloe's world is built on that. Gioma survived only because he trusted the smallest blade. Against Chloe's throat-level attack, he chose precision over panic. He cut hair, not flesh, because she mattered. Then he quietly cleaned the room like a traumatized janitor. But alone, he admits his dream is bigger than hiding. The stupid sashimi knife path might actually reach the top. First though, his stomach reminds him he is still human. Then another miracle blessing blooms around him. Somewhere beyond him, higher powers are already moving pieces. The world still needs someone to defeat the Demon King, and Gioma's divine weapon profile is still hilariously pathetic. So he slaps himself awake and chooses training over whining. Academy days pass under stars, but the deadline keeps approaching. Gioma keeps thinking, because brute force alone will not save him. He considers ditching the main game story entirely, but every route branches toward danger he cannot ignore. Other students still live peacefully inside classrooms. They have no idea death flags are hanging over them. Gioma remembers routes where monsters swallowed important characters whole. Back in his old life, those tragedies were just phone scenes. He even deleted the game once, annoyed by the doomed endings. Now those endings are his actual future. So he sits alone, counting how little time he has. His plan becomes simple: survive first, rewrite fate second. The academy looks peaceful, but Gioma knows better. This place is a chessboard, and demons are already lining up. His only real cheat is the Blade God's blessing. So Gioma invokes it under the moon and studies the rules. The interface confirms the power is strong, but brutally limited. He cannot just grab a fancy sword and become Kirito. Every stat matters, every restriction matters, every second matters. That means training his body and finding compatible weapons. The blessing can explode for 30 seconds, then vanish. His next target is the upcoming monster hunting training event, and the prize he wants is Murasame, a B-tier blade. But wanting a sword and using one are very different problems. Gioma knows one wrong choice could expose everything. That is when Abel von Nibelung enters his orbit. Teal hair, noble aura, and enough sword pride to power a city. Even Abel seems unsettled by the rumors around him. Gioma, meanwhile, sweats because main heroines are walking disasters. She approaches him by the riverside like this is casual, then immediately starts yelling because nobles apparently flirt through intimidation. Gioma scoots over, choosing bench diplomacy over death. The fountain keeps sparkling while his stress levels file complaints. He peeks at Abel, trying to predict the next problem. Abel tests boundaries so casually it nearly breaks his composure. Our boy gulps like he just triggered a rare event cutscene. She relaxes beside him, but her sword says this is not safe. Abel smiles, clearly enjoying how nervous he gets. She studies him like a puzzle she refuses to lose. And Gioma realizes another elite heroine has officially noticed him. Abel starts probing Gioma like she already knows he's hiding something. Our boy immediately blushes, because elite heroines are his natural predator. Then Abel drops a sword between them like a challenge. She offers the hilt, basically saying, "Show me your real level." Gioma hesitates, because normal swords are bad news for him. Abel pouts, annoyed that her noble sword got ghosted. But she leans closer, refusing to let him dodge the question. Gioma tries to play casual, but his survival alarm is screaming. Abel stares him down like she is reading patch notes. Our boy freezes, because one wrong answer changes the route. So he gives the safest answer possible: vague, awkward, and sweaty. The two sit under the night, both pretending this is normal. Abel smiles, but that smile says she caught the scent. Gioma keeps distance, because famous characters equal future disasters. Abel studies him harder, suspicious of his fake background extra act. Then she whips out a rifle, because subtlety left the server. Gioma jumps back as Abel casually upgrades from teasing to felony. Instead of attacking, she starts demonstrating breathing and posture. Gioma flinches anyway, because this academy weaponizes everything. Abel scoots closer, pushing him into another unwanted lesson. Even she shivers, remembering how strange his power felt. Their talk turns quieter, less teasing and more dangerous. Abel remembers warnings about monsters who don't fit normal rankings, and Gioma, unfortunately, fits that warning way too well. For Abel, losing to him felt strangely freeing, not humiliating. Gioma hears that and realizes this girl is absolutely not normal. When she admits violence excites her growth, our boy nearly becomes a fountain. Abel gets offended, like he insulted her totally healthy murder hobby. Still, she enjoys how badly he fails at hiding his fear. Then she asks the real question: what kind of swordsman is he? Gioma sighs, because explaining Sashimi Knife God sounds insane. Abel finally leaves, but her curiosity is locked onto him. Alone above the rooftops, she admits Gioma has shaken her pride. Next day, academy life resumes, like nobody pulled a gun yesterday. Gioma buries himself in textbooks, trying to stay invisible again. That plan dies when another flashy student steals the room's attention. A red-haired newcomer scans the class, bringing main character energy. The elite students glow around him, reminding Gioma he's surrounded by bosses. He feels relieved for 1 second that nobody is staring at him. Then he remembers, the hierarchy here can crush commoners for sport. At least lunch exists, so Gioma checks the meal system. Then Chloe flexes a black privilege card, like Academy capitalism's final form. Gioma checks his own faculty-linked card and sees a loophole. The system basically says he deserves mad respect, and honestly, fair. Our boy immediately starts calculating how to survive on academy perks. That smirk means a broke man has discovered premium benefits. Meanwhile, Joaquin Academy stands proud after 700 brutal years. Class shifts into history, because this school loves traumatic lore. The professor focuses on Valor Joaquin, humanity's legendary founder figure. Gioma already knows this lesson from the game, and nearly falls asleep. Valor wasn't just history, he was the wall before the apocalypse. Long ago, heroes entered cathedrals where demon commanders ruled the dark. Those commanders weren't random mobs, they were nightmare raid bosses. Humanity charged anyway, because surrender meant extinction. Valor's strikes launched enemies skyward like they owed him rent. But every victory left survivors kneeling in ashes. Monsters kept coming, turning battlefields into burning graveyards. That history built the palace-like academy standing over everyone now. In the wider world, delegates are already discussing renewed war. Gioma knows those whispers are not rumors, they're the game's future. Even powerful officials look uneasy, because the old threat is waking. Silent men in suits watch, measuring who can still be controlled. Medea plays relaxed, but her smile hides sharp political instincts. Then the memory turns vicious, revealing the demonic aura behind her fate. In the original route, the sky itself turned red with disaster. Medea was restrained and bleeding, calm in the face of death. Gioma remembers watching that death as game footage. Back then, he was just Kim, clicking through tragedy on a screen. Now those deaths are real, and regret has a face. Class ends, but Gioma cannot unsee the doomed route. A sudden commotion spreads, snapping everyone out of lecture mode. A red-haired student rushes over, calling Gioma like it's urgent. Our boy's eyes widen, because urgent usually means plot disaster. He checks his phone, hoping reality gives him one normal morning. Nope, the hallway is already packed with gossiping students. Gioma follows along while replaying every dangerous route in his head. Then he looks up and realizes another elite has entered the board. The blonde noble arrives, and the hallway instantly becomes a fan meeting. He walks like sunlight personally sponsors his family. Students cheer around him, because SSR aura is unfair marketing. Gioma looks away before his brain says something career-ending. He remembers the SSR cards, Rachel de Murat and Ryu Saki, and Abel von Nibelung, the sword genius now sniffing around him. Every famous character appearing means the main story is tightening. The blonde keeps chatting smoothly, completely unaware of Gioma's panic. Gioma survived military service once. Now he fears social events more. The blonde smiles like a prince, which only makes him more suspicious. Gioma stays calm outside, deadpan like a background NPC. Inside, he knows these colorful classmates are future war pieces. So he covers his mouth and chooses the safest strategy. Silence. That night, he returns to training instead of pretending he's fine. He swings again and again, trying to make weakness less fatal. Chloe waits behind him, anxious but happy just being included. Gioma knows asking her is risky, but he needs real technique. He reassures Chloe, trying not to trigger her abandonment alarms. Chloe relaxes, but Gioma notices the attachment is getting intense. Because under that shy smile, Chloe's assassin instincts are terrifying. Gioma offers dinner first, using food as diplomacy again. Chloe accepts instantly, sparkling like he proposed a royal wedding. Gioma imagines the dangerous Chloe behind that cute reaction. Then she hits him with pleading eyes, the strongest weapon here. Our boy laughs nervously, because refusing might start a boss phase. Later, he asks Chloe directly for help with sword training. Chloe checks if he really chose her, not Abel or anyone else. When she realizes it's true, her whole face lights up. Gioma sheepishly admits he needs basics before he gets deleted. In the hall, he grips the wooden sword and gets serious. His phone guide reminds him survival depends on adapting fast. Chloe brings her wrapped katana energy, polite but absolutely lethal. Gioma smiles awkwardly, holding a training staff like a man awaiting taxes. Chloe grips hers too, focused but nervous about hurting him. Her first swing already proves the gap is gigantic. Gioma barely blocks, and training instantly becomes watermelon trauma. He checks his blessing screen, searching for any usable advantage. The restriction still mocks him, small blades good, real weapons bad. Gioma mutters through the logic while Chloe watches him closely. She leans in, curious why his power behaves so strangely. Round 2 starts, and Gioma tightens his grip. Across from Chloe, he accepts this spar may become survival training. His stare sharpens, because panic won't block a blade. Chloe's energy rises, and the arena starts feeling way too real. Gioma checks his stance, sweating through every mistake. He steadies the wooden sword, trying to read her rhythm. Chloe dives in, fast enough to punish hesitation instantly. Gioma tracks the blur, barely keeping his guard alive. Then Chloe grabs his weapon, because assassin training is rude. She smashes him clean in the face, and Bro gets humbled. Gioma panics, forcing his body to react before thought. Chloe resets her grip, eyes locked like a hunter. She lunges again, faster and heavier than before. Gioma catches the strike overhead, arms trembling from the impact. Pain floods in, but he refuses to fold this time. Chloe attacks from above, turning training into an ambush drill. Gioma finally parries low, finding one tiny opening. For the first time, he grins because the pattern clicks. Chloe answers with more force, smashing against his guard. Gioma slides back, but his feet start moving correctly. Then he parries her staff down with scary precision. The wooden staff snaps, and the room goes silent. Gioma walks away calm, realizing his body learned too fast. Chloe stares at the broken weapon, completely stunned. She understands now. Gioma is not just improving. The system confirms an armament condition has been fulfilled. Then cyan energy erupts, and Gioma's blessing hijacks the lesson. He is dragged through turquoise fragments like reality is buffering. Error alerts flash, warning that the weapon logic has broken. Chloe recoils, realizing something inside Gioma is not safe. Our boy pushes through the energy, caught between power and control, and then Kim appears again, trapped inside the blessing's digital chamber. Gioma's training suddenly drops him back into Kim's kitchen nightmare. Of course, the system starts with fish, because Destiny has jokes. He tries choosing a real weapon, and the interface instantly says nope. Even a proper sword gets rejected like a bad dating profile. Then the sashimi knife appears, asking the nastiest question possible. Kim cuts the fish, and the pain just vanishes. But that comfort comes with strings, literally dragging his will away. The hidden function finally wakes up. Interior has activated. Back outside, Gioma's body moves like someone else is driving. Chloe instantly realizes this is no normal training accident. Through the smoke, Gioma staggers forward with cursed blue eyes. He is still there, but barely holding the steering wheel. Then his power fires off like a budget Vegeta blast. The whole arena gets swallowed by blue destruction. Chloe blocks on instinct, because hesitation would end her. Even with her guard up, the force rattles her completely. Gioma plants his foot, and the cursed rhythm changes. One sweep sends him flying, but the monster inside keeps moving. He hits the ground and cracks the arena like cheap glass. Chloe gets tossed into freefall, suddenly way out of control. The blast catches her clean, and her weapon goes flying. For the first time, Chloe looks genuinely terrified of him. Then she recognizes the danger behind his eyes. Gioma slams down again, turning training into a demolition job. Chloe barely lands, still refusing to collapse. And there he is, panting like a cursed final boss. Chloe's body starts giving out from the punishment. She calls for Gioma through blood, not fear. Her scream finally reaches the part of him still human. Inside the system, Kim sees the blade aiming at innocence. He confronts the game avatar, realizing this power wants blood. Gioma snaps into awareness, horrified by what he nearly did. The energy surge crashes over him like divine punishment. He wakes gripping blood and a knife, shaken to the core. The buzzing confirms the worst. The blessing can hijack him. Chloe still rushes in, because apparently survival instincts left chat. Her club hits the floor, stopping the worst of his momentum. Gioma finally catches her before she drops completely. Chloe breaks down, hurt more by his pain than her own. She looks up and realizes Gioma came back to himself. He holds her carefully, like one wrong move could shatter her. Then awkwardness returns, because trauma apparently needed seasoning. Gioma leaves with a small wave, hiding how scared he is. Chloe watches him go, torn between fear and gratitude. Outside, the academy sits under clouds that know trouble is coming. Chloe walks alone, carrying more than bruises from that fight. She keeps replaying Gioma's power and the terror behind it. Training harder becomes her answer, because Chloe refuses helplessness. Then she approaches the person her family sent to judge her. Nox Auditore enters, and the assassin family problem gets a face. Chloe calls out, already knowing this conversation won't be gentle. Nox adjusts his mask like a man rehearsing bad news. She steps closer anyway, trying to stand as herself. Nox warns her that freedom was never part of the family plan. Chloe closes her eyes, because that threat cuts deep. He invokes the entire auditor family like a walking court summons. Chloe glares back, but the pressure is choking her. Nox starts moving through the academy like a professional stalker. He senses something off, and his assassin radar starts screaming. The question lands hard. Who is Gioma to Chloe now? Meanwhile, the story clarifies Gioma's power is no blessing. Back with Gioma, the knife no longer feels like just a tool. Every weapon choice now looks like a trap disguised as survival. Still, he raises the blade, because running solves nothing. Then the puppet hand appears again, crushing that confidence. The command is simple and horrifying. Cut, destroy everything. Someone hidden is pulling reality apart through Gioma's body. Chloe feels the aftermath like the world stabbed her too. But the system claims it is restoring the fractured world. A wooden sword spins away, proof their spar became something else. Chloe's name returns softly, like the world remembering her humanity. She steadies herself, trying to smile through the storm. Gioma leans on her, and the silence says more than apologies. Then his body erupts again, warning this curse is not done. Afterward, Gioma stares ahead, knowing he is dangerous now. That night, lightning rolls over the academy like an omen. A student hears the boom and freezes on the stairs. Each step upward feels heavier, like the building is breathing. His face tightens as something impossible presses against his mind. Then sanity cracks open, and the darkness starts smiling back. A skeletal curse erupts, reminding everyone this school is cursed. The next day, class acts normal, because academia is delusional. Chloe sits alone, trying to process everything quietly. She thinks about the relationship she was always afraid to ruin. Her memories drift to someone leaving before words could fix anything. She admits the fear. Getting close means destroying what matters. Across the hall, Gioma stays quiet, watching the room carefully. Students move around them, unaware how close disaster keeps walking. Morning rises over Joaquin Academy, and gossip is already loaded. The lecturer tries controlling the room like nothing happened. Wonbin barks at the class, pure gym teacher final boss energy. But even he notices Gioma's absence is suspicious. The class answers together, pretending order still exists here. Then the instructor spots an intruder and immediately loses patience. His confusion spikes because the timing is way too dramatic. Gioma finally appears, turning every head in the lecture hall. He steps in calm, but the room feels the tension. Each step down says he survived something nobody understands. Chloe jumps up, relief breaking through her careful mask. The classmates start whispering, because the rumor machine needs fuel. Gioma crosses the hall alone, officially impossible to ignore. Later, lunch begins, and the academy returns to social warfare. Chloe gets approached, and her anxiety instantly clocks in. She answers carefully, still not built for normal conversations. They question her absence, poking right at the bruise. Gioma stays nearby, quietly reading the pressure around her. Another student steps in, adding fresh awkwardness to the pile. Then Chloe sees Gioma, and her heart enters overdrive. Gioma notices the reaction and immediately suspects emotional danger, but behind his deadpan face, trauma is still eating him alive. Alone, he trembles so badly his teeth chatter. The broken weapon in his hand reminds him who controlled whom. His hair even begins changing, like the curse is collecting interest. When the penalty hits, Gioma finally screams from the backlash. After surviving it, he sits with one ugly truth. Chloe approaches again, blushing like courage has a loading screen. Gioma invites her to dinner, trying to keep things simple. Chloe short-circuits immediately, because this is basically a proposal. Then she accepts with full golden retriever energy. She starts asking about food, and our chef boy is back. But Gioma senses red energy crawling near his neck. A strange glowing creature appears, because peace lasted 12 seconds. Gioma's eyes sharpen. He knows weird game flags when he sees them. Both of them scan the hall, dinner plans officially interrupted. Elsewhere, Nox waits in the hallway with assassin patience. He smirks, already convinced this situation belongs to him. Chloe recoils when that family shadow steps back into her life. She nods beside Gioma, trying to hold herself together. Gioma and Nox lock eyes, and the hallway temperature drops. They close the distance like two blades being drawn. Nox's stare says he is not here for polite negotiations. Gioma watches while Chloe tries to defuse the situation, but Gioma steps behind her, making his choice obvious. Nox studies him like an insect that learned martial arts. He questions Chloe's loyalty, and the word lands like a chain. Chloe snaps back, finally rejecting the family leash out loud. Nox's eyes glow, because wounded pride loves dramatic lighting. Chloe screams in Gioma's defense, choosing him over fear. Nox turns, and his crimson aura detonates behind him. The air shrieks as the assassin finally stops pretending. Gioma realizes exactly what faction just walked into his route. The covert assassins appear halfway through the game for one reason. They infiltrate, eliminate, and vanish before anyone can blink. In the game's power rankings, these people are nightmare specialists. Gioma weighs Chloe against Nox, and the contrast is brutal. Nox looks ready to kill without 1 second of hesitation. That red blade confirms it. Bro came fully murder prepped. Gioma remembers how these assassins butcher targets in the original route. He glances up, knowing Chloe's normal life is collapsing, and now, protecting her means standing against the auditory family. Chloe's nightmare isn't over, because auditory fate is still breathing. Gioma knows that smile means he failed to save everyone before. So this time, he steps between Chloe and the blade. Nox realizes his blessing threw him right back to square one, and Gioma walks away with 2 disasters quietly following him. Meanwhile, Instructor Wanbin is not buying the calm student act. That emotionless face keeps replaying in his head like malware. Then Medea rolls in because faculty drama has entered chat. She teases him once, and Wanbin nearly combusts on the spot. Still, he calls in a report about Gioma and Nox. The second he hears the names, his volume hits raid boss level, because the academy has confirmed both boys are now major problems. Wanbin freezes, realizing this is bigger than classroom trouble. Back outside, Gioma waits for the next match like a doomed NPC. Medea warns him that virtual pain can still scar the mind, and our boy looks at his hand like it might betray him. He sighs, because even fake death here comes with real trauma. Chloe breaks down beside him, completely past the polite girl mask. Gioma panics softly, because crying girls are not in his build, so he raises the borrowed blade and tries sounding confident. But the silence afterward says both of them know better. Chloe admits she feels useless, and Gioma actually listens. He tells her he still needs her, with zero dramatic sparkle. Chloe fires back, furious at how casually he undervalues talent. Gioma gets hit with a title so embarrassing it does psychic damage. Then he stares at the rose knife like destiny is trolling him. His old mentor basically says knives are his forever prison. Chloe approaches him again, startled by how quiet he became. Gioma leaves before feelings can corner him in the training room. Chloe blushes anyway, because her crush has no survival instinct. Then he turns back and says exactly what she needed. She gives him support before the duel, even if her hands shake. But the moment his blade glows, Chloe senses something wrong. The arena erupts, and Gioma braces with his tiny blade nonsense. The crowd goes wild, because students love violence with uniforms. Gioma smiles like a man pretending he read the boss guide. A glove flies, and the duel challenge becomes officially personal. The spectators settle in, ready for premium academy chaos. Abel watches quietly, already sensing this match is not normal. Nox glares up, furious that Gioma dared block his family business. Gioma tracks him carefully, because this assassin does not bluff. Then Gioma's dark aura floods the arena like corrupted DLC. He feels Nox's bloodlust, sharp enough to cut the air. Naturally, our boy pokes the bear with premium deadpan disrespect. Nox swallows the insult, but his murder meter hits max. His shadow beast surges first, because subtlety left the building. Nox raises his crimson blade, dragging a monster behind him. The technique announces itself as S-rank, Crimson Edge. Bro really brought a legendary move against a kitchen knife freshman. Gioma stands his ground, because running now means Chloe loses. His loadout is ridiculous, but the system still calls it divine. Now both fighters lock in, and the arena finally goes quiet. Nox wants revenge. Gioma wants Chloe free from that family. Even the elite kids stop joking when they feel the pressure. A barrier seals the stage, turning the duel into a cage. Gioma activates Painlessness and Blade God, the cursed combo meal. Then he launches forward, moving way faster than a first year should. The guards instantly realize the safety staff is underqualified today. The students can barely track them, and that is a problem. Energy slashes cross everywhere, but Gioma slips through the gaps. Nox tightens his focus, refusing to let a commoner embarrass him. He ducks and resets, looking for one clean execution angle. Medea stays calm, but even her companion is stress buffering. Abel's eye widens because Gioma's footwork is Swordmaster level. Nox crashes down on him, blades screaming with violet impact. Gioma blocks the next rush by reading the strike early. Every exchange sounds like the arena is getting audited by thunder. Nox unleashes sweeping violet cuts that carve the ground apart. Then he leaps in again, absolutely done with being patient. His next art manifests as the three-legged crow. A giant purple crow dives, turning the battlefield into nightmare soup. Gioma takes the hit and staggers, but he does not fall. Nox follows with towering blades, trying to erase him outright. Then the assassin multiplies his pressure, surrounding Gioma from angles. But our boy dodges like he enabled Ultra Instinct Light. Nox's confidence cracks when his sure-hit ambush hits nothing. Gioma walks past him calmly, which is maximum disrespect. One glance back says he has been studying Nox the whole time. The crowd starts buzzing, because the freshman still has not attacked. Abel notices it too. Gioma is waiting for something specific. Everyone wonders why he keeps dodging instead of finishing this. Nox realizes Gioma is not afraid. He is baiting him. So Gioma advances, lowering his sword like the trap is ready. Then a hidden kitchen knife slips into the play. The blade hits the floor, exposing the sneaky little assassination setup. Nox is furious, because his own trick just got exposed. Gioma snatches the floral knife with terrifying chef precision, and suddenly the weakest weapon here becomes the scariest one. His eye goes cold, because now the blade god has material. Nox feels it too, and rage turns into panic. He dumps power into his blade, desperate to overpower the mismatch. Crimson energy explodes, because Nox chooses brute force tantrum mode. He declares victory before landing it. Classic villain mistake. Then Gioma's counter hits, and Nox coughs blood instantly. The blessing flares again, making Gioma's tiny blade impossible. Nox is thrown back like the arena rejected his subscription. For the first time, he looks genuinely terrified. Gioma pushes through the smoke, blue blade ready to end it. The students watch in frozen silence, no jokes left now. Nox stands over a fallen body, but control has slipped away. The final blast detonates, swallowing the center of the arena. Even the loud kids gulp, because this stopped being school sports. Nox drops to one knee as the floor shatters under him. Gioma draws his blue glowing blade through the dust, then he sheathes it with one clean click. That sound lands harder than any victory speech. Gioma turns away, refusing to make this uglier than necessary. And of course, he acts like everyone overreacting is normal. He even checks the knife mechanism like reviewing kitchen equipment. Behind him, Nox crawls beside his dropped sword, completely broken. The assassin who came for Chloe is trembling on the ground. The crowd finally understands. Gioma beat a second-year elite. But our boy only walks forward, because one win solves nothing. By the next day, the classroom rumor engine is overheating. Students who mocked him now discuss him like urban legend material. Abel hears the name Gioma and quietly connects the dots. Her pride does not like this new information at all. In her memory, his impact keeps replaying like a sword lesson. She remembers bodies falling and Gioma standing beyond common sense. Then realization hits. His knives surpassed her entire sword logic. For a noble swordswoman, that is basically emotional property damage. 2 kitchen knives become a proclamation she cannot ignore. Abel admits the truth quietly. Simple tools beat her assumptions. And that thought makes her heart spike with dangerous curiosity. Her old confidence twists into a promise to confront him again. Even older voices would call this obsession a terrible idea. Then Abel realizes Gioma is also the rumored top scorer. Now she grips the desk, embarrassed that she missed the obvious. She slams both hands down, pride officially taking critical damage. Rachel notices immediately because Chaos recognizes fresh seasoning. The blonde menace turns over with a smile that says trouble. She starts questioning Abel, and Abel goes defensive instantly. Rachel keeps teasing, clearly smelling a crush-shaped weakness. Abel tries acting stern, but the blush is snitching. Rachel presses harder, enjoying every second of this interrogation. Abel snaps upright, because noble dignity is losing badly. Rachel laughs like she just unlocked premium gossip. Then she lunges in full gremlin mode, and Abel nearly malfunctions. Rachel shifts targets and asks Leon for information next. The classroom doorway becomes her next hunting ground. Leon answers confidently, unaware he has fed the beast. His denial gets obliterated by the loudest no imaginable. Rachel smiles through sweat, recalculating which student to bully next. Then Lady Abel flinches as Rachel closes in again. Rachel hits bingo because she found her perfect victim. She grabs Abel's wrist before the noble can escape. Abel stumbles forward, dragged into Rachel's latest disaster plan. Rachel sprints off, weaponizing friendship at illegal speeds. Their destination is Wolf Class, where Gioma's quiet life is doomed. And Rachel makes her entrance like a glitter bomb with legs. After Knox gets humbled, the classroom rumor machine goes nuclear. And Rachel decides this is her perfect entrance cue. She climbs up like school rules are optional DLC. Then she starts aura farming in front of everybody. Gioma basically tells her, "Please locate your dignity." Rachel salutes like this is all totally normal behavior. Abel already looks tired of this circus. Then Rachel suddenly realizes who our boy really is. Chloe is nearby, quietly admiring Gioma like he hung the moon. Rachel, unfortunately, locks onto that same target. So she heads straight for him with predator confidence. Gioma is just trying to sleep, but peace gets banned. Chloe and Abel instantly sense a disaster incoming. Rachel drops in beside him like a final boss roommate. Gioma wakes up wondering which route he messed up now. Rachel starts teasing him with maximum noble girl nonsense, and our boy realizes she is not joking around. When she reaches for him, his survival instincts load instantly. But Chloe moves first, and the room temperature drops. She stops Rachel cold, jealousy wrapped in assassin pressure. Then Chloe gets grabbed back before things explode. Rachel's eyes glow, and yep, she is fully obsessed. Chloe breaks free anyway, because Gioma is her line. Somewhere nearby, murderous office lady energy enters the chat. Lady Abel yanks Rachel away before the classroom becomes a crime scene. Rachel just smiles harder, because chaos is apparently her love language. Then she pats the older woman like a misbehaving pet, and that poor woman freezes like she met customer service Satan. Meanwhile, Rachel senses another threat moving in the room. The students all flinch, because this academy never gets normal days. Rachel turns sharp, her playful mask cracking for 1 second. Then boom, blood spills, and the comedy dies instantly. A classmate panics over the injury, realizing this was no prank. Later, Rachel sits shaken, far from her usual smug act. But the blonde menace still pushes her, testing her pride. Abel shouts at Rachel because this is getting dangerous. Rachel gets launched across the auditorium like a rag doll. Then she flips down perfectly because of course she can. The crowd cheers because rich kids love violence with uniforms. And Rachel de Murat's real monster status finally clicks. Chloe steps forward next, and her aura says absolutely not. Rachel later corners Gioma, acting like they are besties now. The whole class watches, smelling fresh drama. Abel notices the tension and starts connecting pieces. Gioma stays guarded, because every heroine near him means danger. Rachel's hard eyes confirm it. Our boy is officially doomed socially. Abel freaks out because Rachel's obsession is not normal. The girls clash with smiles that could cut steel. Abel realizes Gioma has become the academy's weirdest center of gravity, so she enters class with Rachel, ready to investigate. Abel tries acting smug, but her curiosity is leaking everywhere. Gioma just rubs his head, already exhausted by the harem patch. Then Rachel says something so wild Abel nearly malfunctions. Rachel hugs Gioma's arm, and his soul leaves early. Chloe sees it, and the assassin route activates again. Rachel ducks danger like she expected the jump scare. Then she laughs it off, making Gioma even more uncomfortable. She finally leaves, but not before detonating his piece. Gioma watches the girls circle each other like rival raid bosses. Abel keeps her guard up, especially around Rachel, because Rachel's smile hides way too many sharp edges. Still, Rachel walks off like she won the whole episode. That night, Gioma senses something darker than school drama. His instincts scream that the real plot is moving again. Rachel shudders too, remembering something that rattles even her. Behind her bloodline, ugly shadows keep grinning. But Rachel's own power answers back with a dangerous glow. Abel watches Rachel carefully, realizing she is no simple flirt. Rachel apologizes, but even that feels like a warning. Abel sighs, because every strong girl here is a problem. She studies her hand, shaken by how fast everything changed. Rachel grins again, already planning her next move. Meanwhile, Knox wakes in the hospital, pride shattered. He refuses recovery and chooses revenge instead. His eye burns with one thought: kill Gioma. So this injured clown drags an IV stand into war. But the memory of Gioma still terrifies him. Knox storms through the corridor, shoving patients aside. In his head, every plan ends with Gioma dead. He sprints like wounded pride gave him cardio. The hospital turns into a tunnel of pure obsession. Knox swears he will erase the boy who humiliated him. And above all, he wants Chloe dragged back home. Chloe's family shadow still reaches for her throat. Knox kicks in the door, ready to become a menace. He peeks inside, expecting prey. But Gioma is already waiting, calm, with an apple. Knox freezes, because the hunter just walked into the trap.